Donald J. Trump Jr. Cometh the hour, cometh the man, so the adage claims. Why is the opinion of Glenn Beck or Mark Levin or the other 20 neo-conservatives or anyone criticizing Donald Trump that much better or more accurate than mine, or of the countless Americans finally waking up from their complacent slumber? Throughout my Truth Talks and in my books, I have tried to stress that your opinion or your viewpoint is as good as anyone's, as long as you temper your thoughts with truth, balance them with kindness, and remain constantly aware within the loving knowledge that your views have the chance to be wrong, as does anyone else's. None of us has the right to push our views onto others simply because we have a larger megaphone or positions of power and authority, or is considered a so-called pundit, whatever that really is, who have the ability to reach out and influence the minds of so many uninformed souls, and there are so many of them, uninformed and clueless. And these pundits give support to those who actually believe similar, like-minded philosophical ideals and concepts, often wrong and often biased. Every true American who actually believes in the established traditions, decent moral values, and the founding principles of our great nation agonize as they silently witnessed the decline and deterioration of our great country. Those quiet Americans are finally beginning to rise up and voice their disgust, anger, disappointment, and total disbelief that America is falling apart right in front of their eyes. Those sleeping giants are being awakened by the only person who voices their fears with the same vigor they would if they could be heard, and with the same loud disdain all too many have silently felt for years. At the present moment in time, that person just happens to be Donald Trump. No one could have predicted his overwhelming acceptance 8 months ago, but no one knew what he was going to say nor what he was going to do. Now that they see and hear his views, his statements appeal to all Americans, not just to closed-minded Republicans. Every real American wants America to be safe, free, and great once again, and everything Trump says and does points in that direction. The right direction in the minds and hearts of true Americans. The people are afraid of and angry with the same old, wanting to put party doctrines aside and leave politics at the curb, especially when it comes to correcting the wrong course our country has been on for over 50 years. Politics have become a battleground where the extreme right and the extreme left battle over narrow-minded philosophical ideals on what is right or wrong or good or evil for Americans. Most Americans do not have the luxury of living in this politically correct world where people in and of influence force personal political views down the throats of the common folk, using the people's dollars in the process in most cases. This is actually what political correctness means. Those with power do, say, and employ any way and any means available to force their views onto others, who just may disagree with those views. Common folk under the gripping influence of more powerful individuals must acquiesce to those views or suffer the slings, arrows, vile ridicule, vicious consequence, or the removal of the purse strings. And this force is known maybe as the political correct Gestapo, which polices and enforces those self-centered, unwanted views. Most views not accepted by the majority of the Americans that are now beginning to rise up. Throughout my previous talks and throughout my books, I have tried to get you to comprehend the truth and reality of the Creator's universe, where everything in that universe, including the reality of mortal humans, has happened in the only way it could have, based on all previous choices and past circumstances. What was is in the past. What is happening now is the present. And what could be is still to come and is the future. The could be is the mystic, unknown, unseen realm where unique mortals, individuals, battle over personal opinion on what is to be as they see it. Remember, as I have stressed over and over, it is physically impossible for any two people to see and perceive the same physical object and subsequent differing opinions with the same exact perception. Einstein's theory of relativity confirms this claim. Also, always remember, all truth is unique to personal, individual perception. Therefore, conflict becomes inevitable when personal differences can't be settled within the spiritual heart as opposed to the physical mind where most battles take place. I have earnestly attempted in all my talks and especially in my books to explain how and why this phenomenon of unique individuality causes divisional views of actual truth and actual reality. I have already tried to use thousands and thousands of words in that task of getting you to self-discover your own vision of your personal truth. And this is not the time to get into that lengthy task again. Just check out my previous talks and check out my free ebook. Just be assured that you are unique. You are one of a kind who is susceptible of being shaped and molded into the image of that force, be it good or evil, most influencing your physical, mental, and spiritual unfoldment. Brainwashing, programming, and subtle conditioning takes place from the moment of your birth. As you fall under the influence of the fickle hand of fate, so to speak, examine your pathway to this point in time. All that you are and believe has happened because of previous thoughts and decisions. All present manifestations are the result of previous choices. Personal reality is written by your choices. So become more aware of who you are and what subtle influences help shape and mold the present you. What if those ideas and philosophies were wrong, like President Obama's were? By now, hopefully you're beginning to feel why Mr. Trump may be the right person at the right time. He is simply trying to communicate with the masses in the now is present moment, using instant communications via the most popular method of the now moment, the internet. Using social media, Mr. Trump consistently declares his beliefs and visions of what could be, from his point of view, without a teleprompter. If you believe him and his promises and want to restore America to a better reality than it suffers at this moment in time, then you have to roll the dice and hope and pray he is going to follow his beliefs and not follow the failed ways of doing business in Washington, D.C. as it has been for the last 50 years. Using lies, deceptions, falsehoods within his masterly scripted teleprompter, which is maybe the evil cauldron from which he wove his mesmerizing spells that captivated most Americans. President Obama convincingly promised the moon, but once in office, the past influences of his liberal, progressive ideas and ideologies, with their clever hidden agenda, have drastically damaged and transformed the country. All of those who disagree and criticize Donald Trump fear the same outcome from a President Trump. However, those who dissent do so from their own unconscious addiction to their past ideas. So therefore, they employ whatever tactics and comments necessary to bring him down, by ultimately justifying these ways and means from self-centered, narrow-minded perspective. Hence, all the selfish infighting between so-called conservative Republicans. But the people want to trust and believe he is doing the right thing, and deeply believe Mr. Trump will continue to do the right thing. And that right thing, from my perspective, is to continue keeping the people informed by being truthful, being honest, being kind, being open, being transparent, and telling it like it is. He must remain the unique individual real Americans see and believe. Be the kind, honest leader America needs at this moment in time. And he must also always do the right thing for the best interest of all Americans. Remembering this one mandate the universe applies to all, and that's the Creator's karma is waiting if you do deceive the people and will exact justice, as it is right now on President Obama. The people want to return to the goodness and the courage and the pride and the greatness of what America was. Those people are unhappy with the America that is. And more of these previously unheard people are seeing eye to eye with Donald Trump's hope and better vision of what America could be. He wants to make America great once again, and I'm sure you do too. So until we meet again, Godspeed.